Hello, welcome. So it is part 3 of these 4-part series, and this week we're looking at works and who. So the works that you want done, whether it is purchasing the property, whether it is during its refurb or anything that you're going to have done, who's going to do it and how do you decide? Look, this is probably one of the most common areas that people come to me and say, Trevor, help, I've made a mistake and things are starting to go wrong. And it will come back to the same thing in the works and who's doing it. Okay, so you, the investor, has the decision to make those choices. We're going to start with number 1, really. Let's look at the legals. 1, legals. You need to decide who's going to do your legal work for you. You need to understand the process and you need to understand the costs. Do you know, I can tell you that out of 10 people, each 10 people that I speak to, and they've instructed, they say, can you recommend a solicitor? No problem doing that, depending what they want to do. When I asked them, I said, how much are the legal fees going to cost? And 1 in 10 can tell me. Do you know why? Because they've asked. The others, they won't know until they get the pack comes through with their terms and conditions. And still, there's a list of costs. They still don't know what's going to entail. They don't ask. And honestly, probably this section I should be calling it, Ask the Question. And that's a really important thing. You must ask and find out. It is the number 1 cause of where things go wrong, where people do not ask what the costs are and what is involved. Okay, and that will come down to number 2, finance. You know, who is going to do that for you? Now, one question, some of you will know that I have Martin Smedley is my mortgage broker, financial advisor, and a very good friend of mine. Now, the thing is that he is what I call a master broker. So he is connected to all of the banks. And let me give you a nice question that you have to ask your mortgage broker. Are they on the panel of Shawbrook? Okay, so Shawbrook Bank is one of the top commercial lenders for property investors. Okay, and if I think they are on the panel, they have about 40 mortgage brokers around the country that they will work with. Most of them they won't work with. So if you have a broker and just ask that question, then what will happen? If you needed their products, now they're not the cheapest, but they are very good and very flexible and things, but it's a good marker for you. If they cannot take you to Shawbrook and they're recommending someone else, and maybe you've never heard of them, you need to go and change your broker. You need to get a broker who's on the panel of Shawbrook and knows all of the other lenders. Really, really important. Also, you know, what's it going to cost you? So you need to ask, and don't be scared. You know, Martin, he doesn't charge fees up front. He doesn't. You need to ask, excuse me, can you tell me what it's going to cost? And, you know, what if I fail, etc. Again, ask the right questions. You're going to find the answer. All right. But these 2 people will speak to each other. What you need to know is, what do the solicitors want? So remember, when you're buying, if you're using commercial finance, you will have a solicitor. The lender, let's say it's Shawbrook, they will have a solicitor as well, which you will pay for. You can't speak to them. They will keep sending you, or probably direct to you or via your solicitor, questions about what you've got to supply. Read that carefully, get a list and supply everything. They're going to ask, and be ready for everything, including EPC, copies of ASTs of the existing tenants, guarantees whether it's been treated for Japanese knotweed or damp, all these types of things. Get everything, and you need to gorge yourself, unfortunately, on as much information as you can and getting it to these solicitors, because otherwise it's going to hold up, it's going to drag on and take months and months and months, honestly. So you need to be aware of who's doing what, and you need to be on point. Another thing, once you get to your property and you complete and you buy it, let's suppose you have some works to do. So that may well be electric, it may be gas central heating, it may be that you have damp, and there are much more things. It could be that you got an infestation of some sort of parasite or fleas or whatever it is, dry rot. My golden rule: do not go cheap or you pay twice. I promise you, the amount of people that come to me, whether it's legals, okay, some of them think they can do their own contracts with their own options. Don't do it. You must go to solicitor. But on here, electric and gas, you must make sure that they are certified with the proper organizations. All right, and so they have the certificate number, that they give you a certificate for all of the works. So an electrician, whenever they come to any property, even to do a minor repair, they need to give you a certificate of what they've done, and that adds to the 5-year annual thing. And listen, now for landlords, you've got to have a 5-year electrical certificate, okay, every 5 years. If you haven't got that, you need to get it done now. Find a good electrician who's registered, ticks all the boxes, and does a great job for you. The gas safety, again, make sure they are registered, and again, that they can give you all the certificates that you need. That's every 12 months. Ask them to put it on their calendar and make sure it's done correctly. If you're going to go damp, and again, I see this too many times, that people will say, oh, I've had it treated. I've done this a few times with people. With damp, when you've got your bricks, okay, here's your bricks, and there's your bricks there. Where should it be penetrated with the injection? Well, it's every 4 inches. Remembering a brick is 8 inches. So look, it will go 2 inches in, and then 6 inches in, 2 inches in, and you can see. So every 4 inches there is a drill hole where they've done it properly. Plus, they should, and you ask the question again, are they registered and have a guarantee? So normally this stuff is guaranteed for 30 years, and you're looking the insurance policy to be backed by someone like Lloyd's of London. We're coming down to Japanese knotweed. Again, I have seen people do this. They say, I'm just going to get some stuff from B&Q. Don't do it. Don't. You think you're saving money? Do you know what? You're making the problem worse. You cannot do it. Japanese knotweed goes down, I think it's down something like 2 meters, and then it has a 7-meter radius of root network. You're not going to touch it. And again, what you need to do, the licensed people that will deal with this, and you need to go direct to them. Guess what? Not only will they treat it for you, they give you a certificate. That certificate means that you can get a mortgage on that property once they've treated it. If you don't, and you try and do it yourself, and there's a marker on that property, because markers are flagged up by surveyors and other people, that there's Japanese knotweed on that property, do you know they value that property at £0? Zero. Okay, now Japanese knotweed isn't the problem as it used to be, because things are getting better in dealing with it now, but you need to have that certificate. If you haven't got it, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. Do it properly. Don't try to do things on the cheap. It isn't worth it. And on top of that, let's go back to damp. Do damp on the cheap, and the damp comes through. You're going to make your tenants ill. The tenants won't stay there. You'll get bad reputation, potentially get fines from the council, because the council come along and say, why haven't you had it done? You say, well, I have. You can see that I've got one drill mark per brick. He said, well, they would tell you, well, that's not done properly. Where's your guarantee? Oh, well, they've gone. I don't know who they are anymore. Don't do it that way. If you are looking at any building works, make sure that you know that they know what they're doing. All right, please. Look, it comes back, buy cheap, pay twice, always. My father used to say that, and there is no truer saying. Honestly, do not try to skimp on doing things properly, because otherwise you will pay for it. All right. I understand that if you're trying to flip a property, I know that someone will put in a cheaper boiler, because instead of a Worcester Bosch, they'll put in something a bit cheaper, maybe half the price. I understand that, all right, I understand. But it's a new one, and that's fine. I've got no problem with that. But don't go and, try and keep an old piece of rotten thing that you just get a mate to try and, fix it and pass it on. No, do it properly again, because it's a selling feature. When I go into a property and I see a Worcester Bosch boiler, I think, hey, got some quality here, and that's something really good. And they normally come with 5 or 7 years guarantee. So if you are selling for an extra £300-400, you can actually put something in which I believe is a greater selling point for you. Okay, it gives people more confidence. Now, on my training, which I got to buy Refurb Refinance, I actually introduce you to a company where you can buy the Worcester Bosch kitchens, bathrooms, all of this through an organisation that you join, and you will save hundreds of pounds. So I won't go into specifics, but let's say some of my paint I paid just under half price. The Worcester Bosch boiler, again, I'm making massive savings. If I said well over 30% I'm saving on that, and that's cheaper than what the gas fitters can buy. And again, if you're interested in that, drop me an email. Please make a comment if you're enjoying this little series, and I will see you next week for the last part of these group of 4, and hopefully you found them really, really good. Drop me a comment, please share this video, and so we build up more subscribers so we can help more people in the industry. If you haven't seen it, I've got a book out. It's The Art of Buy, Refurb and Refinance by Trevor Cutmore. Have a look on Amazon, hopefully you'll find it there. I wish you all the best, and may God bless you. Bye-bye.